In this video, we're going to take a look at how to go into your course settings and clean up your navigation bar so that it's easier for students to get where they need to go inside of your Canvas course. We'll also take a look at a couple course settings, check out Student View, and learn how to set our home page and publish our course. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is I'm in one of my courses here, and I'm going down to my Settings tool at the very bottom of the course. Then across the top, I'm going to switch over to the Navigation tab. This allows me to customize what my Navigation tab looks like for students. Just because I hide tools from students doesn't mean that I can't use them as an instructor. So to make it simpler for students, because I use modules in my class, there are many of these options that I can hide from students. To hide different tools from students, what you'll do on this Navigation tab is you can click the 3 stacked dots next to each item and click Disable, or you can hold your cursor down and move it to the second row there to disable them. I like, because of how I have my course set up, to have my home button set to a home page, and then I like to show modules and announcements for students so that they can get where they need to go. So again, to disable, I'm holding down and moving. To enable different tools, I'll find them on the list and then bring them to the top. I can come and change this at any time, so if I want to make changes later to it, I can do that right under my Settings tab. When I have this set up how I want, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and click Save to update my new navigation. Always a good idea, on the right-hand side when you're under Settings or when you're under Home, you have what's called Student View. Student View allows you to see what your course would look like for a student in your course. Moreover, you can go in and take quizzes and submit an assignment in this Student View. And then when you leave Student View, which is in the bottom right-hand corner, you can go in and grade the work you did as a test student. So now I can see, because I've cleaned up navigation, I have my home set right now to modules. We'll look at pages in a second. And students can get where they need to go, taking quizzes, doing assignments, because I have them all in modules here. So I don't have to show them also on the left-hand side. So now I'm going to leave Student View and I'm going to go back into Settings, and we're going to take a look at a couple more settings here. Under that Settings tab, across the top now, I'm going to go to Course Details. Under Course Details, this is where I can update that course card, so I can click here to change how the course card looks. As I scroll down as well, there are a couple more settings that I want you to take a look at. At the very bottom, there is a More Options link button here that we're going to expand out. And in that, I like, because I use announcements in my course, I like to turn on so that the most recent announcements show up for students on the home page at the very top. So I can choose how many most recent announcements I want to show up. I check that box to make sure they show up. And then there are a few other options you may want to take a look at here. Do you want students to be able to create discussion topics, delete discussion topics, comment on announcements, so you can disable them from commenting on announcements if you want. You click Update Course Details to save those changes. Now let's talk about the Home button. Okay, so one thing that is really important for you to do before you publish your course is to make sure that you have your Home button set up how you want it. As an instructor, you have some choices as to what you want your students to see when they click on the dashboard into your course. And that means you get to set your Home button. So when I'm on my Home button here, on the right-hand side, there is an option to choose a home page. And this allows you to choose what you want to set your home page to. I suggest, in the era of virtual learning and virtual instruction, that you choose a front page as kind of a landing page. You'll notice right now it's disabled for me, so let me show you how we can have that be an option. And what that means is, on the left-hand side here, I'm going to navigate to Pages. Remember that pages are kind of like web pages. They're landing pages for content, for materials and information, and you can even create a page that serves as your home page. So it's what students see when they go into your course. So this is a great place to put important information about your course. Maybe links to Google Meets, just making sure that students know visually they're in the right place, so you can set that up. In order to make this show up as my home page, there's a couple steps that I need to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to my View All Pages list. I'm going to find the page I created and I want to be my home page. Number one is I'm going to make sure it's published. Published means there's a little green dot there. Okay, so if I want to unpublish it to show you, I need to make sure that it's published. We've got our green circle there. Then 3 stack lines, I need to click to use it as a front page. So this is just me telling Canvas that this is the front page of all my pages. And then once that's set as my front page, I'll see a little icon there. Now when I go back to home, and on the right-hand side, I'm going to go back into choose home page. Now I have the option to set my page's front page, and I'm going to click save. The reason why I like this option for students, especially in the era of virtual teaching, virtual instruction, and online instruction, is that it's just a visual to students to know they're in the right place, and then they can use those few tools that you have turned on the left-hand side to get where they need to go. So let me turn on student view now. Remember, I told you you can get to that under your home button or settings. And so for a student, when they click into my course, they're going to see my home page showing up here. They're going to see recent announcements at the top. I've cleaned up the navigation so that if they want to see a list of all announcements, they can click on announcements to see that. And then they can click on modules to get into the learning. So here's where I could break it down by units or by weeks, however I want to do that. And this is where my other pages, assignments, quizzes, files are set up in a linear fashion for students so they can get where they need to go and find where they need to go. Don't forget, when you create pages too, you can also include course links in here. So I can put little buttons that get kids into certain modules, for example, or files or assignments as well. One final thing to note is when the semester has started, you do need to make sure that your course is published. And to know that your course is published, if my course wasn't published here on the right-hand side, I would see a big publish button to publish it. And I'll also see that publish button when I'm on my dashboard. Because remember, on your dashboard, how we have it set up, your courses are in 2 categories, your published courses, and then as I scroll down, I'll see my unpublished courses there, and I can click that icon to make sure it's published. Remember, students can only see published courses. So you'll want to make sure your course is published, has a home page set, and that navigation is cleaned up to make sure that your students are ready for success at the start of the year in your Canvas course.